Aloha and welcome back to my channel, Astrology Dome. My name is Galit and today I'm going to talk to you about the full moon coming up in Libra. This is a very important full moon. It is happening just before the eclipse season. It is happening in the midst of so many changes on the planet, with so many planets changing signs and going into major new beginnings and also major endings. So we are experiencing a major, huge ending of an era and beginning a whole new era. Whenever we experience such a major change, there is a shift between what used to be the old world into what's coming up into the new world. And whenever we are in the middle of the shift, many important things are happening on the planet, many important signs in the sky, and many of us are feeling a major loss on the one hand and a major excitement of the new beginning on the other hand. And we're just there in the middle, not sure what it is that we're ending. We already see the signs of what it is that we're ending, not sure what it is that is coming, and not sure when this transition will end. Well, it's going to take some time for the major transition to come down. Probably the next 2 years are still transitory in a sense of movement from one state to another. But this full moon is giving us the opportunity maybe to bring more balance. After all, it is Libra that we're talking about. So let's check out the chart and see where it leads us. So the full moon is happening on April 5th. Or 6th, depends where you are in the world, at 9:34 Pacific Day time. I made this chart for Los Angeles. You can make it for wherever you live in the world. What matters is that the moon is at 16 degrees Libra, just across from the sun at 16 degrees Aries. Now, this is in reply to the new moon that we had 2 weeks ago at 0 degree Aries. That was a really important new moon because it ushered us into this whole new beginning of the new year, but actually into a whole new beginning of a new era, because Pluto just went into Aquarius, 0 degree Aquarius, going to spend only 2 months until June 11, 2023 in Aquarius, but giving us the preview of what's going to happen when Pluto goes into Aquarius next year, staying there for 20 years. This is a major transit. It's a major change for us from Capricorn, which Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008, creating major changes in our systems, and I'll talk about it in a little while. But going into Aquarius, Pluto is showing us the new possibilities for the new world, the new possibilities for us being new in a new world that is rapidly changing. And we're all feeling it. You're feeling it. I feel it. Everybody feels the change. We're not sure what it's going to bring about yet, but we feel the change. Change is in the air. But first, let's go into this full moon and the symbolism. So full moon in Libra. So Libra is all about bringing balance, right? Creating an equilibrium. Libra, in its highest form, wants to bring peace. Unintentionally, I woke up this morning and I wore this shirt. I didn't even know that I'm going to make this video, but somehow it is really fitting to the theme of this full moon because we want peace. It doesn't look like that on the planet right now, but this full moon says maybe it's time to understand what balance means. Because what do we see on the planet at the moment? We see radical change. We see Uranus at 17 degrees Taurus, mid-Taurus, right? Whenever a planet, a long, slow moving planet such as Uranus, is transiting through a sign, this is a 7-year transit. Whenever it gets to the midpoint of the sign, sort of 15 degrees, 17 degrees, 19 degrees, things are showing up to be more mature. In the beginning, when a planet ingresses, going into a sign, we get a preview. We get the notion of what's going to happen. We get some highlights. But it takes time for things to mature. So in Uranus' case, things have matured. Things that of relationship to the earth, Taurus, to the financial system, Taurus, to security, Taurus, to how we take care of ourselves and how we take care of our earth and how we take care of our resources, all Taurus. So now when Uranus is at 17 degrees Taurus, we can see what the issues are, but we can also come up with some ideas to bring more harmony and peace. And why am I talking about Uranus? Because the full moon in Libra is trying to bring some sort of balance, or at least to show us what's out of balance and what do we need to bring more balance and peace into. Libra is ruled by Venus, and so is Taurus, ruled by Venus. And look at this time of the full moon. Venus is in Taurus, very comfortable. Venus loves being in Taurus, right? She rules that sign. She's doing well in Taurus, but she's also ruling the full moon, Libra. So Venus in Libra wants to bring peace and balance. Venus in Taurus wants to use resources in an harmonious way. Those two are bringing peace and balance. But how can we bring peace and balance when we still have Chiron together with the sun at this moment of the full moon? Chiron is the wounded healer, and it's in Aries, and the sun says in Aries, hey, I want to be the individual that I am. I want to chart uncharted territories. I want to become that authentic self, and I, me. That's the Aries territory, defining self identity, which is all good, especially if Chiron is there for a long time, helping us redefine who we are in this changing face of the world, in this chaotic time, in this uncertain times. We need to redefine our identity as a collective, as human species, and as individuals, because we have been through so much change in the past few years that we have to redefine who we are, what we want to do, what is really valuable, what's important for us, and how we take our place in the world right now, because the world has changed, and what we want to do and how we want to place ourselves in the world have changed. Our priorities have changed. Our values have changed. I think COVID gave us a big wake-up call to ask ourselves what is really important. And Uranus in Taurus was helping us redefine those values in Taurus, redefine our resources. What kind of resources, what kind of gifts do we have that we can show up with and create our new security system? Taurus is representing our financial system, and Uranus is definitely doing some sort of transition and bringing immense amount of change to our financial system. But it's also bringing change to how we do money. How can we create a stream of revenue? From what kind of resources can we create streams of revenue? How did we shift our mind and perception of what it is that we need financially, and what are our new goals, financial goals? What can sustain us? This is about sustainability. And at the moment of this full moon, Venus is right there with Uranus in Taurus saying, you know what, guys, I think you got the message. I think you're working already on new ways of existing, of building your new security system financially. So you can be secure financially, but you can also enjoy life and be more peaceful. Venus wants to enjoy life and be more peaceful. So here are the main components. Redefining self-identity. What is it that I can be an entrepreneur and do? What is it that I bring my authentic self to? And how can I do something that I love and satisfy me and be courageous about it, right? That's Aries, be courageous about it and step into maybe new territory, but at the same time, create new security system. Maybe that full moon can bring us more awareness to that process that we've been doing. Now we're all in it together. Pluto moving into Aquarius is going to bring that message that we as a community have to start thinking about the greater good of all. Because if we stay in the Capricorn territory where Pluto has been transiting for the past 20 years in Capricorn, we will stay in a structure of top-down hierarchy of power and control and fighting for power and control. But is it really the best structure for us? Currently, we see around the planet so many individuals and so many small communities and so many large communities that are rebelling against those old structure. And Pluto's transit through Capricorn was meant to wake us up and see what needs to be updated in our systems. Because every system needs an update. You know, I update my phone, I bet you do too, and we update our computer. We don't stay with the same operating system for 20 some years. So why shouldn't we update our systems? Maybe there is a time when Pluto reaches a sign, and Pluto has a long orbit. It takes 248 years for Pluto to do one round trip around the chart. So whenever it reaches those 20 years in each sign, we get an opportunity to update. Let's not forget that Pluto is that planet of death and rebirth. So something has to die, the old system, the old way of doing things, things that are not working, things that run their course, things that are stagnant. They need to change and go, and new advanced techniques, processes, ideas, and systems need to take place in order for us to progress. We've been doing this process for many, many years since we are on the planet as species. And now is the time that we are taking those changes into a social reform, into a political social reform, that we are seeing the destruction of it at the moment, because Pluto is that planet that is responsible to show us the shadow side of things, to see what's not working. So we're seeing corruption, we're seeing enslavement, we're seeing inequality, we're seeing racism, we're seeing inequality in pay, we're seeing what's not working, what's not fair in our system. And Pluto's transit through Aquarius will bring us the awareness in the beginning of the sign of what needs to change, and then through its transit towards the middle of the sign and towards the end of the sign, we will see so many new structures, new ideas, new political reforms, new inventions for sure. Technology, it's the sign of technology, it's the sign of aerospace, it's the sign of discovery, it's the sign of understanding that we belong to the galactic environment around us, not just to our perception of what it is that we do here on Earth, but rather a bigger perspective of our place in the galactic system and our place of perhaps understanding that we are vibrational beings, and how to bring more inventions that will help us develop that part of ourselves. We're reaching a higher understanding of who we are as human species and who we are as individuals, that together create communities, that together create what we call the human species. This is a very exciting time to be alive, because so many things are going to change and bring us higher and bigger awareness than ever. However, in order for things to change, we need to let some things go. And this is what's happening, especially before eclipse season. On April 20th, we're going to have an eclipse, a solar eclipse at 29 degrees Aries. 29 degrees Aries is the end of the Aries sign. If we had a new moon at 0 degrees of Aries, this is a new moon on steroids, that eclipse at 29 degrees of Aries. And it's going to show us what it means to be a new individual, a new kind of an individual on the planet, and how can we define our need to be explorers and to live life on our own terms together with the collective, enhancing the collective, contributing to the collective. Obviously, Aquarius has a darker side. Each sign has a positive and a negative. So the dark side of Aquarius is always that side of avoidance of feelings. So maybe we can use that avoidance and say, hey, we don't need to contribute to the collective. I can do it on my own, an Aries me style, and we don't need the collective. But that will prove us wrong, because we're seeing that resources on this planet are finite. They're not infinite. And if we don't share them correctly, we don't have planet B. So this is one issue that we'll have to deal with. The other issue that's coming up is Jupiter. Jupiter is in Aries. Jupiter expands. Jupiter is that good luck planet. It brings wisdom, understanding. It is travel. It is expansion. And we all want to expand our individuality, and we all want to shine. But how can we shine? And these are a lot of Aries energy. How can we shine together with the eclipse coming up in Aries? How can we shine and still bring balance, still abide the law, still become citizens and people that strive for harmony and peace? Can we do that? Because right now on the planet we don't see peace. We see a lot of areas that have war in them, but we also see some old leadership that is collapsing. And just like when we had the American Revolution and the French Revolution around the same time of the American Revolution, we're going to see a revolution right now saying we're not accepting any leadership that is oppressive. We're not accepting any leadership that is using we the people and our resources, our brains, our workforce, our ideas, and our integrity. We're not going to buy into inequality anymore. We're not going to buy into being pawns in any leadership play. We're done with that paradigm. We are upgrading our paradigm. We're upgrading our thoughts of what is a community, what is society, and how can we create a better society. So how does this relate to this full moon? It does. Because the need and the ability to see where we are out of balance brings awareness. And awareness is the first step to change. Any change starts with awareness. And a full moon is always that point that we have more light on the planet and we can see better. So maybe I want to suggest that this full moon, just before eclipse season, together with Pluto move into Aquarius, together with Saturn moving into Pisces, teaching us compassion, teaching us the highest vibration of love, teaching us how to manifest and create our thoughts into reality in a more inclusive way. Maybe this full moon will be the point of awareness and understanding that if we want to thrive as individuals, we also need to thrive in balance, in more equality, and help others attain a higher level of awareness. Because if some people on the planet, and some large amount of people on the planet, are not aware of power games that are happening, of corruption, of things that are not in order, and they are still being pawns for other people and countries' exploitation, then we cannot move forward. What happens to one of us happens to all of us. This is something we are getting it. We're starting to understand that. So education and spreading the word and understanding and raising the frequency and helping other people be more aware of the imbalance, injustice, Libra, justice, injustice that is happening around the planet in many places will help us all to step up to a higher level. So I want to suggest that this full moon is a step for us as humanity, as individuals, to become more aware of where there is imbalance in our personal life and in our collective life. Wherever you have 16 Libra in your chart, take a look. What house is it in? Because that house will intensify. Something will be highlighted for you in that house. Maybe the injustice that you're experiencing in your life is happening in that house. It's a point of awareness to take a look and see. And as Mars is in Cancer at the moment of this full moon, which is taking care of our emotional security, taking care of our home, taking care of our family. Where is our home? Who is our family? We need to ask those questions and see where do we belong and how do we protect that? How do we create more security? Because if we are emotionally insecure, how can we create a secure home? And how can we create a secure society or a secure planet? So you see, it's all interrelated. If we want more peace, we need more security. How can we create more security? The ruler of Cancer is the moon, coming back to equality, to justice. The ruler of Libra is Venus. So Venus is in Taurus. So she is the final dispositor of this whole chart, which means bring natural balance to things, bring peace, bring equilibrium. So let's strive to do that. The other thing I want to talk about is the North Node in Taurus, which Venus is again the final dispositor even of the North Node. The North Node is where we're going as a collective, and this is where we need to put our attention to. Is together with Mercury in Taurus. Mercury loves Taurus because Mercury in Taurus is very practical, is very calm, is a thinker. It can bring a very good solid plan. So make your plan, create a solid plan for your life. What do you want to see more of? Definitely security and abundance, right? In Taurus, definitely more peace of mind. Venus is the final dispositor. So this is what we all want with this full moon. And we get Saturn as the backbone, the backdrop in Pisces, giving us the inspiration and helping us create the new process, the new ability, the new structure of bringing thought into reality. So I wish you a very happy full moon. May we all live in more peace and harmony, personally, first of all, because if we are in peace and harmony inside, we will ripple those vibrations to the outside. And it's on us to bring more peace and harmony to ourselves. So work on self, work on yourself, heal thyself, and you shall get more peace. So love and peace, and as always, please take care of yourself and become the best version of yourself today and every day. I will see you next time.